This is the Eye for an Eye channel. Welcome to today's show. I wanted to cover this band that is trending with 60 million views on YouTube. I know a lot of you probably have never heard of them. I have never heard of them. And this is one of the new norms they're doing around the world, is they are starting to normalize bands from different countries in a country that they would never ever be listened to, because again, this is part of the subliminal way they're pushing globalism. They're putting K-pop bands trending in the United States of America. They're putting bands from the UK trending in America, and vice versa. They're making American singers very big overseas, the Taylor Swifts, etc. This is all done by design. Adele as well in the UK over here. This is how they subliminally start programming people into globalism, by having all these cultures merged as one. Now, people will say, well, what's really wrong with that? That's a great thing. Well, for a lot of reasons, everything's wrong with it. Not to say you can't like people or care about people from other countries, but all one Christian has to do is look back to the Tower of Babel. God is the one who divided the nations and divided the people, because when they were trying to act as one, they were literally trying to go up into the heavens, and they were trying to become like gods. I mean, pretty insane stuff, but this is biblical, the globalist world order, and these bands being pushed is all done by design. So this is supposedly a newer band called Baby Monster. The girls are very, very young, if they're really girls, we don't know, but are very, very young, and they are obviously marketed towards a young group, and they want to push them because a band like this, which is pretty relatively new, has 61 million views on their video. That is pretty unheard of, because I cover a lot of these musicians, if not all of them, all the time, because of the repetition and the influence that they have over their audience and what they're showing them. Most of their audience doesn't realize, but they never get this many views. Even the most popular bands that I've covered over the years, even like Beyonce, Taylor Swift, sometimes don't get views close to this. So this in 6 days have 61 million views, tells you that they're putting this group on the radar for a reason. And of course, it's to influence young teenage girls, because these people are 16, 17, 18 years old. Now, their name is Baby Monster, which is creepy enough. Of course, all one has to do is start thinking about babies and And we know who obviously their handlers are, because they're legitimately monsters to babies. But I want to show you some of the signs and symbols, but specifically I want to start with one of the members of the band before I show you some of the basic symbolism in their newest video being pushed and promoted by the YouTube algorithm. And that's by somebody who goes by the name of Asa, A-S-A. I'm assuming that's how you pronounce the name. And a recent track from Asa had this verse in it that I'd like to read to the audience out there, in case you're not, figuring out who these people are. They're all one and the same, and they all worship the devil. This is a verse from one of Asa's raps. This is God's plan. Someone stop me. I was sent here from Illuminati. Evil scriptures written on my body. Me and Satan pull up in a red Bugatti. Don't be trying to put your stupid arm around me. So we have references to the Illuminati, of course. The people who are her handlers, the people everybody think don't actually exist. You can call them what you want. You call them the cabal. These secret societies run the show. They control the mindset of the people, and they take people like this to make them into social engineers and influencers on the youth, which is how we've gotten into this situation. This, again, goes back to things like Tavistock. Now, some of the words and stuff in the song you'll see written in the background, and you'll hear them singing, are quotes like this. I'm going to make my own decisions. Don't need permission. Things like that. Don't need permission, saying that they don't need their parents' permission. They're going to make their own decisions. Now, what's crazy about the world that we live in now, and which is really part of this hypnosis everyone is under, is that these people are not making their own decisions. That's part of the problem. They're of the hive mind. So all these people think that they're free and they're making their own decisions and they're making their own choices. They're being herded to make these decisions and these choices, like Planned Parenthood, for example, and all these other things. They're being told, and they're thinking in their own mind because they're empowering these people, telling them at least that they're empowered, right? They're convincing them they're empowered when they're not, and telling them they're making their own decisions when they're not. They are formulated, manufactured human beings. And this is what these social influencers are doing to their audience. So 60 million views, telling an audience who's probably never made their own decision without the government telling them of that decision that they're not even freely making, and they don't need permission from their parents. These are the people that they are marketing to, these young girls out there. Let's look at some of the stuff inside of this music video. Number one, we start off with a girl here who has devil horns conveniently on its head, right? Is that a surprise that there's devil horns on the head of the girl? Should anyone be shocked? I mean, there's a girl group. You got one of them talking about the Illuminati, talking about her and Satan pulling up in a red Bugatti. Then you got someone here with devil horns in their head. And if you look even closer, you'll see an upside down peace sign on this girl, boy's arm, whatever. I don't know what to call these demons anymore. Maybe we'll just call them demons because that's really what they identify as. So you can see an upside down peace sign for those of you that don't know. The peace sign is a very common sign in the occult. It does not mean what you think that it means. And if you speak to people or listen to interviews for people who used to be in the occult, they talk about a satanic baptism, an initiation into Satanism, where they break the 10 commandments. They do the opposite of what the 10 commandments say. Yes, that includes actually committing murder. And of course, these people get away with it because the rules and laws do not apply to them. So one of the things they do after they're initiated and baptized, usually in blood or fecal matter, is they take a cross and they break the cross. They break the arms of the cross. This depicts them rejecting Jesus Christ on the cross. They reject him. So they take a cross, just envision it, right? Holding a cross, taking the two arms of the cross and breaking those two arms off the cross or breaking them downwards. This is their way of rejecting Christ's sacrifice for humanity on the cross. That's what it is. So the peace sign is always used. And of course, we know that they use the peace sign to herd in the illusion of a peace, world peace, and a utopian society is really dystopian, where they constantly use things like love. And that's why you see one of these girls, boys, whatever they are, even with the word love right on their pants, right? Nobody thinks twice about the fact that they constantly go, love wins, love this, love that. Love is the new tolerance. And the Antichrist will be coming in the name of love. Surprise, surprise. For those of you that haven't figured it out yet, I've been saying it for years. It couldn't be clearer now. When I first started saying it, people were like, that's insane. Jesus is love. They don't understand the deception of love. They're using the word love to make people tolerant and make people accept all of these satanic things and satanic sins that nobody should be accepting. So we had the peace sign, which again, they try to trick you with peace as if these people care about peace. These are the people who are causing all the destruction and chaos in the world. And love, these are common themes. Then we get this other theme that we see from time to time, which is an egg. So most of you probably don't think anything of it, right? Well, for some paganists out there, they believe that the egg has to do with fertility, but also has to do with a rebirth. We see the egg used all the time, right? We see the egg used in Easter. Of course, they've taken Easter and turned it pagan, just like they do with, or vice versa, I should say. I mean, it's really the resurrection of Christ. Ishtar and Easter are an illusion, and they, Christians just accept it because they go, oh, we got to celebrate it sometime. Same with Christmas. These are all pagan holidays. But the egg is something that we see time and time again, and nobody sits there and goes, hey, what does the egg mean? Well, the egg has deep meaning to the occult because the egg means rebirth, a spiritual rebirth. This has to do with a transformation and a rebirth. In the infinite sign and the eggs, these are very similar symbols that they use all the time. But ultimately, if you're trying to understand what I'm getting at or what they use these for, it's for the rebirth, the transformation. These are all terms they use for the new humanity, the new hybrid race they're trying to create, where humans, again, are mixed, their genetic codes are mixed with machine, okay, as they alter humanity's DNA, which is something that's going on as we speak. For those of you that don't know, I think most of you do. So these women or men, whatever they are, as they always do, they often go on to reference MK Ultra, showing you that they are complete science experiments. That's what I look at them as. That's what most people should, right? These are people who were taken at a young age, who were victimized or put through trauma-based mind control. And their handlers tell you through these videos that they have gone through Project MK Ultra and other projects that are CIA or Intel related. And they use the birdcage and cages in general. We've seen all the celebrities from Taylor Swift to Britney Spears do that over the years, showing you that they are under mind control, right? Because it's a caged mind. Okay, they are under prison. They are in prison. Their minds are in prison. They use that symbol, and they also use this symbol as well, which is shattered glass, which represents their altars. Through trauma-based mind control, they create a lot of split personalities in their mind. You've probably heard people diagnosed with split personality syndrome, with schizophrenia, etc. A lot of this stuff that we hear scientifically, that they like to use terms like that for, actually goes back to satanic ritual abuse. They created these as covert ways of covering up and making it seem like it's normal for people to have split personalities, etc. Most of these people, if not all, are victims of some type of traumatic experience at a young age. Most of the time, it's satanic ritual abuse. Now, I covered this on the website, Uprising Revival, a book that I had read passages from of this book on the website, I believe a year or two ago, which are still on the website that people should check out, where it goes into more detail about how scientifically they pretty much hijacked. There was a movement occurring where people were waking up to the fact that there were people out there who had splits and alters that were coming out and surfacing. And they were mentioning about ritual abuse and satanic rituals they were victims of. And of course, the psychiatrists and stuff defined it as these other things that we know in our day-to-day life, like schizophrenia, etc. Okay? It was a way to cover up the actual existence of satanic ritual abuse. So I've covered we've seen mirrors, we've seen broken glass, the altars before. I've covered it with many musicians. You'll find very often, in addition to the birdcage, you will always see some type of a broken glass thing. And again, when you see symbols like this, you don't see an egg because they love eggs. They want to have scrambled eggs for breakfast. That's why, nobody even thinks why they see these symbols in it, right? They're just like, oh, it's coming out of an egg. No one's like, coming out of an egg? What is this, Yoshi? I mean, what is going on here? Right? Oh, she's coming out of a cage. You've seen it a million times. No one's like, what is that reference? Was she in prison at some point in her life? Well, no, but she's currently in a mind-controlled prison. And of course, the glass. What do you think? They love their reflections? Actually, in fact, most of these people who are demonically possessed don't see their own reflections, kind of like vampires. But anyway, I'll continue on with the rest of the symbols. You will see the pentagram, of course. Now, most people out there identify it as a five-pointed star because they don't want to look past the fact that a five-pointed star in rituals and in magic, this is a pentagram. Don't need the lines through it to make it an actual pentagram. They need the points in the star. So there's your five-pointed star on the hand, on the coat. It's the most normalized symbol other than the eyeball. In fact, it's a way to, I did a separate video once about identifying witches in your towns and communities. Now, it's hard to do that now because all of these mainstream stores like Hobby Lobby, etc., sell these barn doors that have stars. But it used to be a way to identify witches, just like I covered with the event at the ping pong place in Washington, where we saw signs and symbols where they could identify where these predators were so that they can network with each other. Witches used to do this town to town, and they would use the five-pointed star. In fact, they would use the flat out the Wiccan star, whether it was on their front door or on a barn. Now it's normalized, so I wouldn't recommend, hey, going and confronting somebody who has one because you're not really going to know anymore. Everybody's under mind control, so they put these things up, and then, of course, I get yelled at by people who have it because they don't realize I'm not attacking them. I'm just telling you the origins of it. And they go, I have one. That's not true. I love the Dallas Cowboys. That's not true. No one's calling you Satanist if you like Dallas Cowboys. Again, I said that a million times. You might be a loser, but I'm always calling you Satanist for liking the Dallas Cowboys. Okay? Maybe bad taste, but other than that, that's what the symbol means. That's why it's so normalized. That's why you see it on the coat, on the rings, every celebrity. What do you think? They all love stars. They have them tattooed on their body because they're used in witchcraft and sorcery rituals. That's the point. Every company, Starbucks included, all of them usually have a five-pointed star, and we're taught to believe that this is the star in the sky. Oh, yeah? Are you talking about Venus? Are you talking about Uranus up there, or those things? Or what are you talking about? Because stars, they don't really look like that. They only look like that in witchcraft and sorcery, the five-pointed pentagram. So you see that used again. And of course, there's some other things in the video where you kind of see like what could be looked at as like graphene or ferrofluid. And I won't get into more detail about that. But overall, right, we see a band pop up out of nowhere, right? A band pops up out of nowhere and YouTube promotes them. It's not because they're organically great. It means they're the next thing that they're going to push out. There's 6 members of the band, by the way. There's your 6 numerology. They're all young. This means that they were formulated to come out and be influencers. That's all that it means because they put money. People are like, well, they put money into their into the backdrop of them as far as the production value of this is the role they're playing. Oh, one girl's edgy. Oh, one girl's this, like the Spice Girls. Oh, one girl's cute Spice. One girl's spicy Spice, right? This is a form of mind control that they've done going back forever, where they try to make you identify with one of them, and then boom, you follow that one. That one's behavior you're molded by, and they all end up having the same ideologies. They all just happen to be liberal, and they all are constantly tell you about how they're women's productive rights, and it's all created by design. So they don't get promoted like this unless they're out there to influence you. If they're at a Tavistock, that's usually what it is. And their whole purpose is to mold your thoughts, to make you think what they want you to think. And you don't see it. And when they show you the signs and symbols, well, your brain is not understanding why they're doing this or showing you this stuff. They're telling you who they work for. They're telling you with the devil horns that they work for Satan himself because that's who their handlers work for. Okay, they're telling you all the agendas, the love agenda, right? They're showing you the spiritual rebirth with the egg. They're showing you, and of course, fertility too ties in with the egg. They're showing you the cages, right? The cage symbolism and the altar symbolism and the pentagram symbolism. This is common, and it goes, you can even just look at the lyrics, right? There's always lyrics of these people praising Satan. So one of the girls has lyrics, "This is God's plan, someone stop me. I was sent here from Illuminati. Evil scriptures written on my body. Me and Satan pull up in a red Bugatti. Don't be trying to put your stupid arm around me." I mean, not just to mention the fact that nobody becomes famous with ridiculous lyrics like this is done by design. It's not just the dumbing down, it's spell casting on the audience. People don't even realize they're constantly referencing God and the devil. Yet these idiots believe in atheism, or they're like, I believe in spirituality. They don't even know what they're saying, right? And they're like, oh, they're saying the Illuminati to troll, guys on YouTube who can't even get 10,000 views on a video or 100 views on a video, right? Oh, yeah, they're doing it to troll us. Nope, they're showing you their allegiance. They do it time and time again. The only reason they're promoted isn't because they're organically good, like they want you to believe. That's how they keep you trapped inside of this matrix, so that you think that you can become famous. Even if you're a good singer, you have a nice voice, you're not becoming famous no matter what, unless you're one of them. You ain't becoming a great actor. I don't care how good you are in your local play, unless you're one of them. And usually it's bloodline. And if they do let you in, you're making a sacrifice. That's how most of these people end up getting in, is via sacrifice or bloodline, one of the two. And they usually still have to make a blood sacrifice. Okay? You're not getting in by being talented. That's why they have all these illusion shows like American Idol, because they want you to think that you can organically do this. You can chase the dream. You chase stupid, earthly, worldly things. You never get there, and you constantly are in a state of depression, all done by design. That's what their design is. These are all agents, provocateurs. That's what they do. They sit here and they mold your behavior. I thank everybody for being here. I hope you're all doing well. God bless all of you as always and your families.